All right, all right. We are live. We are live in Houston, Texas. I'm here to answer immigration questions. Hope y'all are doing well. Alrighty. If you have any questions, please drop it in the chat box. If you want to join live, you're welcome to do that down below on TikTok. You can join the little people icon. It's pink and blue. If you want to join live and you're on Facebook and YouTube, you're welcome to do that. All you have to do is email us with the subject line live show, and it will send you an automatic email with the link to join, okay? To join the studio. All right. So if you're new here, welcome. My name is John Ting. I practice immigration law in the United States to help y'all secure legal status to live and work in America legally because the government doesn't care. Okay. But here at Green Card Guys, we're going to point you in the right direction to the best of our ability. Okay. Every time I go live, I know there's a lot of requests to join live and a lot of questions. So just a little housekeeping here. I'll try my best. But here's the thing, if I don't know the answer, I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. I'm just let you know I don't know. Okay. Um, so you're not wasting your time really either, right? So there are some attorneys I've heard that want to fluff around some information. We don't do that here. We just want to go one by one, help you all out, okay? And so if you're new here, you probably don't know this, is that um, there are a lot of people that join, maybe not every day, but they follow, they click the plus sign to follow or subscribe down below, and they might not have a question. You might not have a question today, and that's completely fine. But you're gonna find that I I am I talk, I'm straight, okay? I'm not gonna, again, no sugarcoating. And the thing is, every live show, try to give y'all some kind of lesson plan. Let me see if I can reverse this. There we go. Hopefully that shows up. Okay, so let's start here. Lesson plan 1 through 6. RFE is the first one. The 6 scenarios that you need to contact an immigration attorney. And I realize that a lot of y'all either have your own attorney already, which is great, or you filed the case by yourself. Okay. And look, I know everyone has a different budget, but look, if you have the means to hire someone, it could be a plumber, for example. My wife has asked me, like, hey, had told me, like, hey, something's clogged up. You gotta fix that. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try. But I realize, one, I might be slow to get that done. Number two, when I have tried it, it might not always work, right? So there have been a couple times I had to call in the plumber, okay, a professional help. So the same thing goes with immigration law firm. You can file your case, you can try yourself, but you need to know these scenarios when you need to contact immigration lawyer, because if you don't know these scenarios, you're you might get denied. Like, so here's the first thing. RFE, there's a deadline, 84 days. And I've heard from other attorneys that recently USCIS has reduced that for certain cases, certain scenarios. But for us, right now, it's still default 84 days. Either way, that's almost 3 months, right? And you might think, oh, that's enough time. I'll get it done, John. Don't worry. Well, I'll tell you what, unfortunately for some people, they're procrastinators. So they forget to get things done. So at the very least, if you're like, John, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm very organized. I'm proactive. Well, at least put it on your calendar so you don't forget. In Google Calendar, you have the extra setting of notification. Give yourself an extra notification of 1 month in advance before deadline, okay? It'd be horrible. Imagine the feeling that you had to tell your spouse, if and typically like one spouse that's it's one spouse that is more like the point of contact, the organized person. But imagine that spouse is the one that does everything in the household. My goodness, I wish you all the best. You do everything in the household, and then because you do everything in the household, you forget to respond to this RFE, right? You guys got to cut yourself some slack and hire an immigration attorney that is proactive, a legal team that's proactive to help you. Okay, RFE. And we actually had a client recently that did respond to RFE themselves. Like, they were not our client yet, did respond to RFE 2 months before deadline, and then still got denied. And It wasn't because they reviewed it. They actually said that they thought, so this is a success story, okay? We have a good outcome on this one. Really good outcome. They denied it because USCIS claimed that they did not receive the documents in response to the RFE. It's like, really? Especially when it was he uploaded it to the My USS account and it allowed him to. So he contacted us. We instead of filing 290B because it's within that time period of 30 days, instead of paying more money to USCIS and to us as a law firm or to any law firm, we went ahead and contact USCIS directly, okay, by email. Those emails are not readily available to the public. Imagine that. All right. So we got it reopened and approved in a few days, like really quickly. And that avoided having to refile the entire case, spending thousands of dollars back to USCIS. Okay. So if you want a proactive team and you appreciate this, tap the screen. Okay, guys, on TikTok. Really appreciate this. Here's the other there. So I do see some questions. Once we get to 500 hearts, I'll start answering questions because in the meantime, guys, I always have something to share. So Noid is a little bit similar. There is a deadline. Absolutely. Look, you might say like, well, John, it doesn't say mandatory on there. At RFE and Noid, there's not one word that says mandatory. But if you want to be approved, USCIS is literally telling you we want more documents because don't be one of those folks like, I gave them everything. I gave them my marriage certificate. We even have business clients that are like, I gave them everything. Well, no, you fucking didn't. We told you so. Okay. So they want more information. You got to give it to them if you want to be approved. Okay. Yeah. So no, it has a 30-day deadline. You don't want to F around with that. And especially if you have your own law firm and you're not in regular contact, we try our best to contact clients regularly. That does not mean every day. In fact, you probably don't want to hear from us every day. Okay. But we touch base with our clients from time to time. And so you don't forget about us, right? We want you to know we're there for you from start to finish. And why do I mention that? I mention it because when a situation like this were to occur, NOID, which by the way, it happens very rarely with our own clients that we start from the very beginning, unless they don't tell us the truth. And then we have to, work from there. 30 days with even with your own law firm. Let's say you get the NOID note letter in the mail or on your online account. By the time you get it, your law firm may not have scheduled a meeting with you. That's part of our workflow. As soon as we get it, as soon as you let us know or we let you know, we're going to schedule a meeting within like 1 or 2 days. Like there's no wasting time. We want to work with you, get this done promptly. Okay. Because there is limited time, 30 days. Okay. Please tap the screen. All right. Thank you. We're over 500 likes, hearts. Hope you all had a great Valentine's Day. So let me go ahead and answer some questions. Thank you so much for the love. I see questions on YouTube and TikTok. Hey, Alicia, welcome in, guys. Barrington Bale, welcome in. Hello, Miss Bailey. Thanks for y'all's time. I'm going to be here for about, hello, Secret. I'm going to be here about, it's 11:48 right now, Central Time. I'm going to try to be here till 12:30, okay, guys, Central Time. So let me see what I can do to answer your questions. Let's see. Let's scroll back up. And by the way, if you're new here, you don't have to copy and paste your questions. Y'all on TikTok tend to do that, so you don't have to do that. I will try my best to go in order. So we got Sia Love asked the question: you're naturalized and you've been here since 4/5. 4/5. What's 4/5? Because it's not April. It's not past April right now. What would happen to them? What would happen for them to revoke your citizenship? Oh, you mean 4 or 5 years old? Okay, that's amazing. You've been a citizen since then. That's great. That's a hypothetical question. From what I understand, the Department of Justice is tasked to review cases where someone has lied. So if you haven't lied, then you're fine, right? But there's some of y'all a little suspect. Some of y'all lied in your application. So for the others who have not filed an application yet to USCIS or any government agency, don't fucking lie. Because it's going to come back and bite you in the ass. Okay? It will. It sure will. The thing is, fortunately, there's a waiver. Okay? You can apply for a waiver. 601 application. But there have been some people, I'm not going to call out names because that's obviously confidential. Some people, there's a couple, you know how there's like bad cops, good cops. Well, let me just put it this way. There's some bad people who have filed, not credible, okay? And those, just like how some bad cops give the entire industry a bad name, right? Unfortunately, it's kind of similar for immigration because a couple people lied on their application. It done fucked it up for everyone else. So for everyone else who has not filed their application, don't fucking lie because you can make it worse for everyone else. Okay, guys? Please do not commit marriage fraud. And that's just not the only thing, because there are a couple people out there who have lied on an application. I'll just give you a simple example. Simple. When they applied for something like, I don't know, like I'm just gonna generalize. Apply for a certain visa application and did not disclose their spouse, that they had a spouse, and did not disclose that they had children. Oh my God, dear Lord. I don't know why you would do that, but there are some people that do that because they say, "Oh my, does someone who immigration preparer help me?" Okay, well that's the same thing as like a notario, notary, or immigration consultant. First of all, please, for the dear Lord, don't hire them. Okay. I know in some countries and even America, unfortunately, there's just like in some ethnicities, communities, there's like word of mouth, like, "Oh yeah, that person helped me and did a good job." Like, okay, well, I guess you could say you got lucky, but that's not going to work. Join my fan club, guys. That's not going to work for everyone. Okay, guys. And they're going to give you the wrong advice because they're not lawyers. They don't do this every day in terms of research. Okay. You don't hire law firms, by the way, to fill out forms. You hire us for strategy and being proactive. Okay. If anyone's wondering, let me scroll back up. So don't lie, please. So CLF, you might be just fine. I hope so. Alrighty. Onto YouTube. GG, can I tell you the timeline for 21-year-old U.S. citizen petitioning for parents who are in the U.S. and enter legally? Okay, wonderful. Glad they enter the United States legally. It's about 12 months. It's about 12 months on average. It takes, for some reason, more time than a marriage case. So if it takes, let's say 15 months, 18 months, definitely contact us if you have not received the interview notice. And that's the other thing. Yes, please expect an interview notice if you file the 485 application. Doesn't matter if it's not marriage related, okay? Yes, during the Biden administration, it was very common to have the adjustment of status interview waived. But we're in the Trump era, okay? We obviously don't want to be in this Trump era, but they do require interviews, so keep that in mind. And why do I say this? Because some of y'all say like, "Oh, was my interview going to be waived?" No. But you need to get your mindset ready to prepare for the interview, okay? Especially if you don't have an attorney. Yes, Michael Phillips, you can ask a question here on the chat. Now, keep in mind, if you don't, if your situation is confident, obviously, all y'all situation is private, but if you find that you would want a like one-on-one meeting, then I do recommend scheduling that here. During the live show, I do offer a reduced rate to meet with one of our client care specialists. Okay. But that's with client care specialists for that rate. If you schedule after I'm done with live show, it increases the fee, right? So meet with the attorney though, if you want to meet directly, we absolutely offer that. That is a different fee. Let's see here. Okay. What's up, John Carlo? Welcome in. Let's get Cassandra Gonzalez. Hi, Cassandra. How are you doing?
I'm good. I didn't mean to connect.
Oh, okay. All good. Bye bye. Alrighty. Let's get the next person in. Nafiza. Let's chat about that, okay? You want to schedule a meeting? I'm curious to know why you were denied your N400. Oh, John Carlo, give me Houston on what time's your interview? Maybe we can link up for lunch or something. Sarah, you can't hear me? Sarah, Adam, turn up the volume. All right, all right. So, let's see some more questions. Okay. Aditha, when a U visa derivative inside the U.S. is approved for consular, are you a client, Aditha? You should email the team because that seems like a similar question that popped up recently. Being okay. Yeah, you should email the team for that. Okay, so let's scroll up here. So this is a good time to mention actually. With our team here at Green Card Guys Law Group, we offer meetings for y'all directly to speak with attorney. Very easy. You can self-schedule a meeting, but of course, sometimes emails would be better to provide context of that meeting and easier. It might be easier to explain. Okay, and then sometimes for us, we're like, well, it might be easier to explain the answer in a meeting. So we are not shy to have a meeting with a client, unlike other law firms. Access to attorney is very important to us, all right, to make sure we're all on the same page. But here's the thing, for any client, if you hire someone else, another law firm, please know this, just to be upfront, don't treat email like a text message because we are, as most immigration lawyers that I know, law firms are slammed. We have a lot of requests. The fact that I'm on a live show, I'm like surprised, but I want to provide this time for y'all. So it's like respect both ways. You know what I mean? So we want to respect y'all's time, but also you got to respect our time. It's very important because it's just a human nature. If a person sends like 5 emails, I was about to say 50. That's not realistic. Let's say 5 emails one day. That can be discouraging to the team. Please don't try to treat it like text message because we time block our day, right? So we got like one team member monitoring the team inbox, and the next hour is another person. So it's hard to like go back and forth, right? Please, whoever you hire, please consider that because if you're ever wondering like, why is that law firm so slow to get back to me? Well, think about how many have you emailed too many times? You know what I'm saying? So you really got to understand that. That same thing goes. That's what I'm saying. It's human nature. Same thing goes with 221G. And if you email a concept so many times, yeah, they're not going to respond to you. Thank you, Ella Jax. Really appreciate that. Let's get Kevin on. Please take advantage of time. So I'm happy to answer your questions. Hello there, Kevin. Kevin, do you have a question? I don't think you know you're on live, so I'm going ahead and disconnect. All right, guys. Yes, it's me. I do see your question. I do try to go in order that I receive it, so it will take me some time to get to you. And by the way, if you don't see, you might on TikTok, uh, it changed ownership, but even when it didn't change until what, like last month. For the past year, it hides some comments that I can't see. Like TikTok hides it automatically. So if you notice that I have not responded to your question and it was like 10 minutes ago or something, then please let me know. Please copy and paste the question. All right, KIF. Is it possible to come to go to go from Canada to US and request asylum at the port of entry if you have a relative? What do you mean if you have a relative? Um, KIF. If you're seeking asylum from Canada or any other country, um, typically, I don't know that someone has like a consultation with a lawyer ahead of time. But this is really 2026. It's really important to, and I say 2026 because the strategies by the Trump administration have, I want to say changed, but has updated. They're trying to they're trying to do unlawful things. Not trying, they are doing unlawful things. In court, for asylum, if you file for asylum, let's say years ago or even like 2 weeks ago, and you have a court date, the Department of Homeland Security is filing motions to pre-termit. That essentially means that they're trying to cancel your case without you having a trial. It's fucked up. Okay, they're cutting due process. That's their goal. So I definitely would contact an attorney. Okay, KIF. Zoom up. You're looking for a security job. I can't help provide you a job, buddy. But I'm gonna have to block you or mute your account for now because you're like copying pasting your messages. All right, let me ask someone to join. Thank you, Ella. Oh, thanks for the donuts. My wife's not gonna like it though. The virtual donut. Um. All right, guys. Let me get back on track here. It's Lunar New Year, so maybe I'm a little slower than usual. Sorry about that. So, trying to have a good vibe here. All right. Delayed. If another scenario you need to contact an attorney is if you think you have a gut feeling your case is delayed, okay? You might not know exactly, and that's okay. Just contact us. Give us a call. You're welcome to schedule a meeting, but if you just want to know if you think your case is, we think your case is delayed, just call us. We don't charge you for that. Now, because a lot of y'all have been waiting way too long, and you don't even know if it's appropriate or not. So I wouldn't say it's the majority of people that have delayed, but given that there's different pauses with USCIS and the travel ban, that more people are inherently going to be delayed, unfortunately. Okay. Let me look at YouTube here. Yeah, sir. Yeah, so we don't help with DV, so I don't really have advice for device diversity visa. So I don't really. It's hard for me, difficult for me to give you my thoughts about it. If it'll be settled, given what I know about the Trump administration for the first term, even with the lawsuits, there's a deadline. As you know, there's a deadline for diversity visas to be issued, and it's likely not going to come in time. There's a likelihood it might not come in time in terms of everyone having the interview, okay, and having the visa issued before the fiscal year changes. Okay, so obviously the sooner that there's a settlement in court about that, then the better, more likely you might have an interview. Okay, I wish you the best. Yeah, sir. Manchester asked, "Are the banned? You're from one of the banned countries. You've applied for citizenship. Will you get your interview, or nothing is moving?" Okay, so the word on the street with USCIS is that they're not going to schedule interviews for anyone that is as part of the list on the paused countries or slash banned countries. Okay, and so you might wonder, well, what the fuck? What are you going to do? You're going to sue USCIS, okay, with our help. You're going to sue USCIS. In America, we love to sue, right? We love to legal system, you're going to have to take advantage of the legal system to your benefit. Okay. Now, I wouldn't say sue them just like you just filed your case 2 months ago. It's connected with a delay. Okay. So usually in the past, we would just say, okay, file a case based on a delay only, or we file a lawsuit based on erroneous denials. Okay. But now it's also because if you're part of the list of countries that USCIS has paused cases or banned, right? Or State Department has banned. So don't let them mess with y'all, okay? I mention this time and time again. When something happens, like pandemic is a pretty extreme example, but hey, it happened. COVID-19. Um, Obviously, I cannot make a vaccine. I don't know anything about science. All I know is law, okay? So the thing is, in general, we as the people have depended on the government for so many things. You pay this application fee, you expect the government to make a decision on it, even if it's a denial. I mean, obviously, you don't want a denial, but now it's even worse. They're just pausing cases. Like, that's not right. So you can't let the government dictate that and just completely stop making decisions. Okay, that's not right. So just because the government, whether it's Trump or not, Stephen Miller or whoever, JD Vance, whoever it is, Christy Nome, it doesn't matter. Red, blue, purple, it doesn't matter what party. You cannot just let the government do that to you. Okay. We've been suing the government even when it was the Biden administration. Okay. Don't think just because the red party or MAGA party's in that the blue is all good. You got to check them too. Got to keep everyone accountable. All right. Violet Sky, welcome back. Do we help prepare y'all for the K1 visa and also AOS interviews? Absolutely. That's one of our services as well. Because some of y'all, unfortunately, whether you I want to say unfortunately, well, unfortunately, even if you had an attorney, some of y'all don't hear back. And you might hear back from a law firm like 2 weeks later, and you're like, what the like by that time you might be too close to your or they don't contact you at all. Or they tell you like, I've actually heard this before. I feel like this is really strange. That, oh yeah, we helped you file, but that doesn't include preparing you for the interview. It's like, what the hell? That makes no sense. Okay. In any of our service levels with our team, we absolutely prepare you for the interview. Now, with our top level service called max service level, we go to the interview. Okay. If for some reason it's not, our schedule doesn't allow it, I have 4 attorneys on a team, not excluding me, so technically 5. But if one of us cannot go because our schedule is booked with something else, we're going to help you find an attorney local to your area. Okay, we're not going to leave you hanging there. All right. Thank you for asking, Violet Sky. Yes, Manchester, plenty of them, unfortunately. So yeah, we're going to file lawsuits. All right, let me go back to over here. Let me go back up. Sarah Adam, can you hear me now? I hope it's working for you. Okay, there we go. Now I'm at Nabil Haddad, 822. Cancellation removal verbally granted in 2022. That's great. I mean, at least you got approved, granted. No written approval yet. What should you do next? How do you know it's verbally granted? From the court, right? Okay, so now that's 2026. You might, well, first of all, you might know maybe you don't, just in case you don't know the reason, it's because I believe there's 10,000 visas, only 10,000 visas for cancellation removal. Same thing for U visa. There's only 10,000 every fiscal year. So, of course, if more than 10,000 people have been approved, which is a good thing, that's going to create a backlog. But that's crazy, right? Like backlog for 4 years for you, 3.5 to 4 years. So what you would do for us, we ask for a transcript, okay? Because you want some kind of proof, just like someone's a citizen now. You have the certificate of citizenship, but now you need to apply for the passport. And so in a similar way, even if since you got a verbal confirmation in court that you've been approved, but you have to wait for the next round, I guess the next batch of visas, then you need to request the transcript, okay? So if you have an attorney, then see if they can do that for you, or a law firm. And if they don't respond to you, then you should be able to do it yourself, okay? Alrighty. All right. Happy Lunar New Year, everyone. If you're just now joining, welcome in. My name is John Ting. I practice immigration law. Yes, that means I am an immigration attorney. I am licensed in the state of Texas. And why do I share that with you? Because you can Google search me, okay? I am not worried. Some attorneys, some law firms are worried, like, oh, they're gonna find me. Well, yeah, I'm all over social media, and you can find me. You want to know, like, some people ask, how many years have I been practicing? 13 plus years. Oh my God, this past year feels like 5 years already. Okay, so we're all tired, guys. Okay, I bet you're tired of hearing from the MAGA party. It's frustrating. Okay, it's frustrating. So we're here to help you out. Don't give up. Hi, bye, Felicia. Who do you contact for payments? Is the billing department, billing at greencarguys.com. Billing at greencarguys.com. Violet Sky, not yet. But I thought you had Violet Sky. I thought you had the K1 visa already. I guess not. But as far as I understand, K1 should be allowed through. Okay, you're welcome, Felicia. Thanks for tuning in. Diane asked, do I have a meeting that's a reduced rate? Absolutely. So we do offer during the live show a pre-qualified session to meet with one of our client care specialists for this amount of money. Okay, less than a cup of coffee at your local coffee shop. For all those coffee lovers, or you love tea, it's probably less than a cup of tea also. So what I'm trying to share with you, okay? Go ahead and screenshot this because you might not need to speak with us right now. That's okay. Screenshot this, click on favorite down below. And if for some reason your spouse or your Pookie Bear is like, who the hell is this guy? Just tell him your favorite immigration attorney, at least on social media. Because if you already have an attorney, your spouse might be like, well, don't we have an attorney already? Yeah, but eventually your attorney might suck. Okay. Unfortunately, it's just some people have said, like, we asked people, like, why'd you schedule us? Like, oh, my attorney sucks. My attorney doesn't respond to calls. Well, when I say attorney, I mean the law firm, right? Like, I don't answer. I haven't answered calls directly in like 13 years, right? But they don't allow me to schedule a meeting. They don't provide me a copy of the file. You know, they don't. They told me that they won't go to the interview with me. They won't prepare me for the interview. Yeah, there's just so many different reasons we receive. So you just need to be ready, okay? All right, let me scroll down to a question. We're gonna get Kelly W on soon. Let me scroll up. All right, guys, tap, tap, tap. If you don't mind, that really helps the algorithm. Apparently, I don't know anything about TikTok other than going live. Let's see here. All right, spouse. All right, here's Kelly's question. Sent proof of spouse naturalization to upgrade status from F2A to IR. No response. Now what to do? Okay, let's get you on then. Thanks for sharing. Hi, Kelly. Is that your name?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so when is the last time you tried it or you emailed them?
That was.
No, sorry, what's that? Oh, okay. Guess she's checking her receipt notice. Okay, Gigi, sounds good. Oh, see, that's what I'm saying. Gigi on YouTube says Thanks, John. We may reach out if we get an interview notice. We emailed a lawyer several times and no response. Okay, I'll respond to that later. Hey, what's up, Kelly? Did you find the info?
Yes, it was like the mid-February, because I have on my notes.
Oh, okay. Um, yes, Kelly. You said February? Well, it's February 17th
Yes,
right now. Uh-huh.
yes, I reached out to them around earlier this month,
Oh, okay.
and I'm supposed to get back 30. They said to give them 30 days, so
Uh-huh.
I wrote down I'm supposed to get back to them March 9th. That'll be 30 days after I reached out.
Okay. And did you also mail them the certificate as
Yes,
well? Okay, that's good.
yes,
How long ago did you do that?
that was November of last year.
Oh, that's ridiculous. And so yeah, it's frustrating because the same agency that approved your citizenship is the same one that's trying to you have is a petition, right? Is,
Yes,
hmm And is the petition still pending?
it's still pending.
hmm And when did you file this petition for F2A?
2024, April of 2024.
Mm-hmm. April 2024. So maybe, yeah, I mean, it's if you don't hear back in the next like 30, less than 30 days, then definitely schedule a meeting. Yeah, I mean, you're welcome to do it now, but the thing is, you likely need to file a mandamus lawsuit anyway because the
Okay.
petition is taking too long. Because even if it's only stated F2A category, it's taking too long. It's another one of the USCIS tricks, unfortunately. Okay, so have you heard about mandamus lawsuit as a service?
No, I have not.
It's okay. Many immigration lawyers don't talk about it for some reason, but as a service that we provide, we file lawsuits practically every day when there's a delay on the case
Okay.
or no decision. So
Okay.
um,
So just contact you guys.
yeah, you for that request you could schedule this one, pre-qualify.
Okay.
So
Okay. Prefer.
you
Okay.
could schedule now because I mean you've already been waiting a long time in general, but maybe pick a little bit later date if you want. Up to you, okay? Just so you can take advantage for this amount.
Okay. Sorry, how do you see to do that? How do I schedule that?
Oh, good. Thank you so much for asking. So, guys, above it says askjohnteen.com. Just type that in or click the link in the bio. And
Okay.
one of the first boxes is actually this one for pre qualify.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll do that right now. Thank you
Thank
so
you so
much.
much. All right. Take care.
Bye-bye.
All right, guys. I know this might be strange that I say this, but I hope that none of you have to authorize us to help you. I really wish you all the best. Like maybe you could do this yourself. But look, if you want peace of mind, if you want less problems to occur, with our help, we can guide you from start to finish. Now, look, like just like Violet Sky asked, they already filed their case on their own, I believe, right? And if you need help in the middle of the case, we're happy to help. A lot of law firms are scared. They don't want to help you in the middle of the case. They don't want to help you when you get annoyed. They're fucking scared. You know why? Because it's 30-day deadline. By the time you contact us, by the time you review the quote, by the time you pay the fee, you might have lost a week already, right? But this is what we do. For this kind of situation, annoyed, we coordinate with the legal team, say, can we get this shit done for this client? If this client signs up, can we get this done? So we coordinate. We don't waste y'all's time, right? But at the same time, you got to think about yourself. This is cooperation with you, the legal team and the client, right? If you're going to be a client that says, John, I gave them everything. No, you did not. Okay, I'll be straight with you. You did not. Okay, so don't be one of those clients that I gave you everything, because then that's not going to work out, right? This is a team cooperation. All right, so or you say like, John, I don't know why you gave me this list because I don't have it. Well, why not? Why don't you have it? I don't understand. Some of y'all talk to us and say, well, I don't want to have a joint bank account with my spouse. Like, okay, well then do you really love each other? Okay, that's questionable. I mean, when I got married, one of the first things I did with my spouse is that we added each other to each other's account. Okay, that's very important to do because what happens if something happens to you, right? You need the other spouse, not other your spouse, to have access. All right, let's get let's get AZOV on. I know some people are waiting for their question to be answered.
Hello, good morning, Natalie.
Hello, how you doing, sir?
Thank you very much for bringing me up.
Sure.
I'm in Nebraska, and I applied for an expedited OPTs. The receipt notice is January the 5th,
Okay.
and I don't know what's going on. Wednesday would technically be 30 days, 30 business days, and there's no news on the OPT.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have an advice on this situation, sir? Please, and thank you.
Sure thing. Happy to see if I can help you. I'm looking at the processing times to see if there's a category of OPT only. What's the category number? Do you remember or do you know? Does anyone know?
After school, after post completion of
Mm-hmm.
OPT. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Do you know like is it A5 or well I know it's not that one, but if I'm looking at the
I
drop down menu. Let's see. So yeah, I don't see it. Like if for all other applications at the National Benefits Center is 6.5 months. Um, for applications at the service center operations is 7.5 months. But I don't see a drop down option for only OPT. Unfortunately, they don't share that. But
Mine is an expedited case, though. I filed it as expedited, and
uh-huh.
they have 30 business days as the um, adjudication time on there.
Oh, really? How do you know yours is expedited? How did you request that?
I paid extra fees for it to be expedited.
Expedited by who?
Expedited, I mean, the
USCIS?
premium processing. Yeah,
Oh,
and on
premium.
the
Okay.
premium processing. Yes, sorry,
Oh,
premium
okay,
processing.
okay.
Yes.
Okay. Well, when you pay for premium processing, you should. Did you receive an email? Did you file by yourself?
I filed by myself. I got a response. They sent a receipt notice of January 5, 2026.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so you filed the form I-907 for premium processing. You paid
Yes, sir.
you paid almost like 1685, I believe, maybe.
Yes,
So
sir.
okay. So you're supposed to receive an email from the service center. Did you receive that for them to acknowledge that you paid them?
Yes. I got
Okay.
a receipt notice too on that regards.
Okay. And then that's good. But yeah, it's supposed to approve your should have already approved your application or at least make a decision for you already.
Yeah, we've not heard anything. I don't know. Is there something I can do, or how do I proceed? If you can advise, please.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's a situation that lawyers would get involved that because it's not intended to be a long situation. But if you schedule a meeting with us, maybe one of my attorneys can walk you through it. I can't promise for them, but for us, if we were representing you, we would have emailed the the premium processing team already and say like it's been whatever date you filed it, it's been like X days from that, it's overdue for a decision essentially. So you might not feel comfortable to do that, but if you need help, we'll take a look. What you would need to forward your email, that email that you received, that one that USC has acknowledged that they received it. They don't do that for every case. They only do that. They only email in for premium processing.
Okay.
Okay,
And how much is the consultation fee with your
it's
team?
right here.
$249.
Yeah, that's for my four attorneys here. But for me, it's higher than that. So you could speak with them, no problem.
All right. I appreciate it.
All right, good luck to you. Take care.
Thank you.
Mhm. All right, guys. So the Trump administration, the MAGA party, first of all, even if they understood immigration law, they don't care to understand. They don't give a shit. And then they don't even I don't even think that's all the MAGA party understands anything about immigration, so that they don't understand that. I remember, and this actually doesn't even have to be a MAGA only, MAGA centric. Unfortunately, there are just some people, like I've talked to HR of another company that's sponsors someone, and bless their heart, they asked me, John, how do we help this person become a citizen? I said, look, there's not a direct one shot application to help someone become a citizen from like a student visa, right? I wish that were the case. That'd be great. For all the stress that people have to go through and all the wait that you have to go through, I'm not necessarily trying to give Congress any ideas, but I'm happy to do that. If anyone knows someone in Congress, put me in touch, okay? The amount of stress people have to go through and the time involved, I don't know. I would say, whatever the fee is for adjustment of status, for example, or non-immigrant visa, and you would to need to renew it more than at least one time, yeah, just double that fee, and that'd be a great like direct shot pathway. But they're not going to do that. All right, thank you for the questions. I know there's so many y'all, so I'm gonna go back up. Shiri0806, please don't copy and paste your questions. I can see them. All right, it's me. Let's get to your question. Would you believe? Okay, it's me. Would I believe if it's been 7 months now since RFE and still no decision or VAWA? Well, VAWA, when did you file your VAWA? When did you file your VAWA? Okay, I need more information. So that's a good example for the person. It's me. I recommend that y'all join the live show. It's easier for me to answer your questions because there's too much back and forth if you ask a question but you didn't share enough information. Okay. All right. So I talked about another scenario when you receive an interview notice, especially if you don't have an attorney to guide you and prepare you for the interview. You're going to be in for a big surprise if you still decide to not have a law firm prepare you. A big surprise this year. Okay, I recorded a video about this a couple weeks ago when I had an interview, and I'll share with you right now. Hey, DFW Realtor for Investors. Hey, you changed your name. Okay. See, I recognize y'all. I remember. Thanks for tuning in again. So even if you tune in for a hot second, it's all good. Appreciate the taps. Really, thank you so much. You're going to be in for a big surprise if you're going to interview and not having prepared. You're like, maybe you did a Reddit search, maybe you did a ChatGPT search. These LLM models, they're not going to have the behind the scenes videos that I've recorded for y'all. Okay. Typically, by the way, any video we post on this platform, we try to post on another platform. Don't tell the platforms. Okay. But I'd share information of that because real time, right after the interview, without disclosing like client confidential information. But I can recall in the last interview that I had, the interviewing officer asked my clients, gave them notepad, okay, post-it to write down the answers to 5 questions. And guess what? They probably would have fucked up if they didn't review our PDF of 130 plus questions. But guess what? They got approved. The interview was on a Friday. They were approved on Monday, right? If the Saturday was a work day, they could have probably got approved on a Saturday. Okay. If you want success in your case, I highly recommend you schedule a meeting. Okay. That's up to you though, if you want peace of mind. All right. So there are many challenges of immigration law that we're happy to help you avoid. Okay. You don't want a situation where you get asked a question of at the interview of what's your kid's favorite food? We have my wife and I have 2 kids, okay? And 1 week they might love chicken nuggets. The next week they might love spaghetti. And goddamn, you're like, God, you're at the interview, it's like, oh my God, what is their favorite food? And you thought, God damn it, why in the USCIS interview don't you answer this freaking question? So you guys gotta be on the same page. Or I remember one client, they asked one client a long time ago when I wasn't even representing them yet, and then they hired us after the fact because things went south. The question was like, when was your first date? And sometimes because some of y'all met online, you met on the virtual world, that your first meeting was not really your first date. Some people might not consider it that way. For you, it might be like, for dudes, I'm just like, oh, I'm just meeting her. That doesn't mean it's a date. Him and her, right? So you gotta be on the same page. You gotta write down these things. But that's what we help you with. Okay. Can you imagine that situation? You wrote down that your kid's favorite food is spaghetti, and your spouse says chicken nuggets. Oh man, that'd be the worst. That'd be the worst to be denied for something like that. That'd be crazy. All right, guys, my stomach is grumbling. It's not stopping, so I do have to wrap up soon. Again, if you haven't had a DFW realtor, have I worked on cases in Egypt? We have. What's going on in your situation, though? Okay, let me scroll back up. Hi, Saw. I hope you're gonna have a great day as well. Happy Lunar New Year to everyone. Word of Wisdom asked, is one required to leave before 180 days if 485 is filed? Thank you for the question. I hope you're still on. If for anyone that's concerned, or maybe you're not even concerned, it's not on your radar. If you filed your 485, then you don't leave the United States. You stay, because if you were to leave the United States and you already filed the 485, then your what's it called? Your 485 will be abandoned because you left the United States. So do not leave, even if you overstayed your visa. I know it's a hot topic these days because the San Diego field office, they arrested or detained like 3 people, I believe. At least 3 that I'm aware of. I don't know if they stopped, okay? But they arrested people that have never been arrested in that kind of scenario. They have no crimes, no removal orders. So it's ridiculous. But that has not been happening as a common practice across the United States, okay? So even if you overstayed your visa, maybe L1, F1, and you get married to someone that's a U.S. citizen, yes, you still traditionally you stay here. The USCIS policy manual in the law allows someone to file for adjustment of status in the United States when you're married to a U.S. citizen. Okay, they waive the overstay. Okay, so I hope that helps. DFW realtor, your case was just approved. Okay, the petition was approved, and the case file was transferred to Egypt. So you need to submit, proof of your finances, your W-2, so your 2025 W-2, some of your pay stubs last 3 months. Mm-hmm. A schedule interview. Okay. Well, let me know if you need some help. Okay. Let us know if you need help. So there's a good example that now look, when your petition approved, I-130 gets approved, petition's approved, and your spouse or family members abroad, they will email you within about usually 2 to 3 weeks after its approval. You get an email from the National Visa Center, and they say like a welcome email. They give you 2 numbers, new case number, and the invoice ID. You need to use those numbers to enter the database, ceac.state.gov, and pay the fees, okay? Paying the fees is what opens up the portal and a next level. It's like a game. It like unlocks the next level, okay, in the portal. And that's fill out the DS-260 and upload certain evidence. No, some people need help with that. We're happy to help. And let's say you try to upload yourself, you do it, and then you come up on a complication that you did not anticipate, right? That happens. And National Visa Center can be a little picky about certain documents. So you never know. All right. Let me see. I know I missed a couple people. Sorry about that, guys. If I missed it, please follow if you haven't, and then join the next live show. I'm trying not to go live at night also, but there's sometimes I can't go to sleep, so I just go live, right? Answer your questions. But for the most part, the main show is during the day at 11:30 a.m. Central Time. So please put it in your calendar. If you have a question, you're welcome to do that, or just schedule a meeting, okay? Boss man, what if you're in the U.S. with approved 601A? Should you not complete the the NVC filing to avoid getting stuck abroad? Once you're DQ, they will schedule an interview, but with 75 country pause. My take. Okay, so yeah, for there's other people that also asked a similar question who have already scheduled interview. If you already have a scheduled interview and you're already abroad, then just go to the interview, because eventually when you file a lawsuit, the U.S. attorney will say, "Well, John, did this person do all the steps necessary to even get the visa issued?" And I don't want to be in a situation say, "No, my client decided to not reschedule and didn't go to interview." So that's going to be difficult for us to file a lawsuit to get the visa issued. You have to go to the interview, even though we already know what's going to happen. Okay, basically get moved to 221G, or get administrative processing, like a pause. But to Boss Man's question, in general, just generalizing here, but because your situation might change, right? So you need to schedule a meeting later on. But yeah, since you're part of the pause, it depends. If you're part of the pause, you're part of the ban. That's two different scenarios. So, but in general, I may want to wait. Okay. But you don't want to let more than 1 year pass, and then the application can expire. Okay. So you do want to do certain steps. Hopefully you have an attorney, Boss Man, to help you out. But maybe wait a couple months in general before you complete all those steps. It will take like at least 6 months to a year generally to have an interview scheduled anyway. Okay, so if you're part of the pause and not the ban, then I would still continue doing what you need to do to complete the DS-260, upload the financial evidence, and in worst case scenario, since you're in the United States with approved 601A, then maybe, if anything, just reschedule the interview since you're in the United States. For other people, if you're already abroad, don't reschedule the interview, okay? Okay, let's get the person with the letter or number O, and that will be the last person to join live today. Thank you so much for all your questions. Okay, DFW Realtor, please schedule a meeting. See if you want us to take over. Wait, it's me. It's me. I see your follow-up comment about, let's see here. January 13, 2022 is when you filed your case, and USCIS said not to contact them until March 27th. What a bunch of bull crock, okay? And they keep moving the date for inquiry. Exactly. It's like a puppet master with the webmaster of USCIS. It's frustrating. That's how even during the Obama administration, they kept moving it. They kept moving if you ever gone to your check your case status and you type in right in your receipt date, it will tell you the open period to, it's like open enrollment for healthcare or Affordable Care Act, the open period to submit inquiry. And so for USCIS to kind of slow the roll here on responding to inquiries, they don't even open a portal, right, for you to submit inquiry. It's ridiculous. So that's how they control the situation, guys. The government is not here to help you. All right. But here at Green Card Guys Law Group, we're happy to help. So, but anyway, for it's me, it's time to file a lawsuit. Okay, let's talk about that. Contact us for that. Tamara, can you expedite a DACA-based EAD? Not that I'm aware that you can request expedite for EAD in general, but you have to do that in like a Word document and upload that to your My USCIS account. On what grounds? That depends on your facts. If you want to schedule a strategy session for that, you're welcome to do that. Okay. Thank you for the roses, Emmy. Really appreciate that. Appreciate the love, guys. My wife would not like the roses though, or the donuts. So if you don't mind, tap tap tap. That's all you have to do. Larissa, thank you for the roses. I know these roses or whatnot cost y'all money, right? So all you have to do is tap tap tap. That is free. It doesn't cost you anything. And of course, if you don't mind, when you click the plus sign to follow, from time to time when you come across my videos, please give it a tap on the hearts. That will help the channel for us to reach other people who might need some help. Okay, thank you so much. Dr. Melendez, yeah, you're welcome to ask a question, but I'm going answering questions from the middle of the page. Shiri, you got if you're a green card holder that was under co-sponsorship, is allowed to be a financial sponsor? Yeah, I mean, if you're a resident holder or a citizen, you can sponsor someone else. Isabel Flores, how do you find out about the status of your sister's case? You need the receipt number. Can your sister share the receipt number for you? And go to you have to go to, you could Google search USCIS processing time and make sure it's a .gov at the end to know it's a government website. Now, our legal team, our law firm uses lawfully.com. I don't know if they charge y'all individually as like a one-person account. For us, we pay. Okay, I'm not sponsored by them, but they do a great job of providing instantaneous status updates. It's way better than what USCIS can tell you. I don't know why, because even USCIS might email you say some kind of like there's a case update or something has changed, but then you look on your online account, it's like nothing actually changed. Whereas lawfully.com, they're a private company as far as I'm aware. They don't do that nonsense with you. Okay. They actually will email you if there's a status, or through our law firm, we have a service we allow them to email you the status update as well. All right. So hopefully that helps. Dr. Melendez, I gotta answer the other questions of the other folks from earlier. I can't get them. I don't want them mad at me. Okay. I try my best, guys. BB asked, how much is a consult fee? It's right above my head. And I have it above my head for a reason. The platform doesn't let me talk about money. So please be aware of that. If you want to know about our fees for certain things, you're welcome to contact my team. My client care specialist will assist you with that. If you do have a meeting with my team, my attorneys, I typically don't allow them to talk about fees because that's really the business side of things. I want my attorneys to focus on the law part. Okay. So I hope that makes sense. They get all tripped up on that. It's just like any other company. Okay, Larissa, if you filed all the paperwork, but you didn't send in the 131, is that what you mean? You have to leave. Will it be a problem? Hell yeah, it's going to be a problem. You stay and sent after a week. I don't know what I mean by you stayed. Like, are you here in the United States? Okay. If you're talking about like, the way I understand your question, if you need to leave the United States and you don't have the 131 approved, do not buy your plane ticket. Do not buy your bus ticket. Do not walk across the bridge. Okay. you need to have advanced parole. Now, if you have a visa that's still valid, then yes, hypothetically you can leave, okay? But if you don't have advanced parole and your visa expire, or you don't have any kind of visa, do not leave the United States. Filing the I-130 and 45 by itself does not allow you the opportunity to come back into the United States. That would be a very big problem that will cause a lot of stress and dinero in the future. Now I think I am to Amran, someone who got granted asylum and withholding removal. That's great. And DHS appeals what? Appeal what? The asylum? Are they qualified for bond? They could be qualified for bond. It just depends on the facts. Being granted asylum alone is not going to help me determine that. Okay. All right, guys, I got to wrap up really soon. I'm going to answer 2 more questions for Dr. Melendez. If you're waiting for an interview and your work permit is expired, can you still work until the interview? Based on a green card? No. Technically, no. However, if you're married to a U.S. citizen and your U.S. citizen's spouse is the one that sponsored you, the USCIS policy manual automatically waives, if you're approved for the whole case for the 45, to waive the unlawful working without a work permit. Okay, there is no more automatic extension. Okay, but it also depends on the job. P.S. Don't tell your HR unless they ask. Okay, guys, HR doesn't understand, so don't get the genie out of the bottle kind of situation. All right, with HR. Okay, I'm not saying lie. Don't lie, of course. But if they ask you, then tell the truth, right? Obviously. But some of y'all are just so nice. You just want to share so much information. And it turns out you lose your job. Like, okay, well, then that didn't work out. They don't understand an HR perspective. They don't understand what the USCIS policy manual is. And I don't blame them. Okay. Which, by the way, if you have a company in America, or a company abroad, but you want to come here, one of the options could be L Visa. All right. But if you want to learn more about it, you can either schedule a webinar that's free, or you want a one-on-one session for anything business related, you schedule directly with one of our attorneys. Okay. All right. Now I think there's one more question. Did I miss it? Michelle, Harry, if you got requested for a second interview, what does it mean? It means you better get fucking ready. Okay. I put this here. The 6 scenarios you need to contact an immigration attorney. I don't know if you have one or not. I do hope so. If you have an interview notice, contact your attorney ASAP. You might think, well, wouldn't they know? Possibly not, because even our own clients get the interview notice like one day before us in terms of the mail. And also, you have your online account, MyUSCIS. We don't have access to that unless you give us the password, of course. So interview notice, you need to contact your attorney. If you don't have one, you're welcome to contact us, and we will check our schedule to see if we can make it to your interview. All right, because we have a PDF. Here's what we do. Here's our workflow when we have interview notice. We send you a link of a series of videos, right? And you might wonder, why do you send videos, John? Because it saves time for everyone, right? And you can replay the videos over and over. And whereas when we have and then the second thing is you can self-schedule a meeting. We actually not just we require you to self-schedule a meeting so we can be available to share more information and also answer your questions. Okay. And we also have another resource, a link to a PDF that has over 100 questions over the accumulation, like crazy, ridiculous questions over the span of my career that USCIS has asked. All right, during an interview. So here's the other thing, Michelle, that you need to know. For anyone that receives a second interview notice, it doesn't happen for everyone, but if you receive a second interview notice, our default mindset is that it could be a Stokes interview. And you're like, what is a Stokes interview? Where they interview you and your spouse separately. not in the same room. Like one of y'all will go first while the other spouse is waiting in the lobby. You really prefer to not have that situation, but you can't say, please, officer, I don't want that. Like it's too late. Okay. Something in the file has triggered the USCIS agency to say this person, this case needs to have a Stokes interview. Or there are limited scenarios where you still have a meeting, the interview together, and it just turns out that, like, we actually had one earlier last year, and the second interview, the officer said, "Oh, I don't know why you've been scheduled for a second interview." I was like, "Go figure," because the first officer seemed like more like a rookie. Okay, so so take note of that fact. You should be able to tell if a USCIS officer has more experience or not just by nature of what they're saying, right? So anyways, I hope that helps, guys. Go ahead and click on screenshot, click the plus sign, but screenshot my information just in case you need to contact immigration attorney. On Facebook and YouTube, that's our phone number right there. All right, greatly appreciate your time. All righty, so I gotta go. I gotta go eat lunch and go to the next team meeting. You all have a wonderful day, okay? Don't forget to schedule a meeting. Talk to you soon. Peace.